Just finished a meeting with a person who's at our booth, and she is a really amazing human being. She's got a passion, ex-military, and she told me, "Okay, yeah, I'm coaching people, but I've got my book coming out, and I'm working on my website." And so then I asked her, "Okay, so do you have you made any money coaching yet?" She's like, "No, I'm working on my book, and I got my website." And I just busted up laughing. I was like, okay, so you're working on your website and your book, yet you haven't sold anything as a coach. And this is the biggest problem I see as in the coaching industry from someone who's trying to transition, especially if you don't need the money as a coach. However, you do need to learn how to sell if you're a coach. Because if you're in the coaching game, imagine this. It's like as soon as you decide to coach, I've got a message, I've got a mission, I've got a passion, and I'm going to help people change their life. So I'm going to write a book. I'm going to have a good website. And you do all these things externally when what determines if someone's impact is created is you interacting with that human being. And how do you do that? Well, imagine this. You say you want to run the coaching race. So you're on the starting line. You're like, yes, I'm in coaching. I'm going to coach, right? And then you hire a big coach, you pay $35,000 and you're like, all right, I'm going to get trained to coach. Yet you still are not making any money and you're on the starting line and you're ready, you're excited and you're like, okay, here I am, let's go. And then you look down and you see that your shoes are not the right running shoes. And you see that your shirt, oh man, this isn't a branded shirt. I really got to look good when I'm racing. I can't just run this race in this. I got to look good because that's going to give me credibility and it's going to be what defines whether someone will work with me or not, is if I look good. So then you get off of the starting line. You literally walk off the starting line and then you go get those perfect shoes, your book, and you get your perfect shirt, which is like your branding and your website. And you spend all this time and energy and months and months and months and sometimes years go by and you're still, hey, I'm a coach, but I haven't sold a thing. I'm working on all these things to avoid the actual thing you need to do, which is if you're a coach, that means you need to get in front of a human being and sell them on your coaching program. If you don't do that, it's because you're avoiding conflict. You're afraid to get rejected. You're afraid that you're not going to deliver. And if you spend $10, $20, $30, $40,000 on creating an online funnel or a book, yet you don't actually create what you want, then you're going to fall short and you're going to be back on that starting line wondering, okay, what do I need to do to actually generate results? And you're going to think it's something externally. But what you actually need to do is take the first step, which means I talk to a human being and I invite them to purchase my service. And then you do it again and again and again. That is the missing piece. If you want to truly grow your coaching business, you have to start with the basics. Otherwise, you're going to build an amazing mansion with your book and your website, and the foundation is literally on sand because you can't sell and you haven't confronted the actual resistance, which is fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not delivering, fear of not looking good, fear of not belonging. All these resistances is the thing that you must move through if you truly want to succeed. So if you're in a place where as a coach or transitioning to be a coach and you haven't gotten that first sale, then drop a comment in below or wherever you want, and I will hook you up for free to connect you with the right materials so that you can start confronting things and get your first client. It starts with moving through the resistance. You have to confront that. And as a coach, you need to be the type of person who your ideal client would work with. And if your ideal client, it's probably not going to work with somebody who hasn't confronted their fears or their doubts or their uncertainties and is hiding behind a freaking website. So get out of your comfort zone. Do the hard things. Move through it. There's techniques for that. You can shift it in minutes. It doesn't have to take you freaking years. Stop procrastinating. Stop hiding. Get results. Go change someone's life by doing the hard things first. Get back on the start line. Take the step. and do what it takes.